What's up everyone, ReggieTECH here. I hope you're all doing well and thanks for tuning into the channel. So in today's video, we're going to be upgrading the RAM in my Notebook Odyssey. So the reason I'm upgrading the RAM in this laptop is because I've been posting a lot of videos to YouTube, and that means that I've been doing a lot of edits and a lot of rendering of those videos, not to mention anything else that I've been doing on the laptop as well. And I've just seen so much slowdown within the last couple of months while doing all these processes. Now, I didn't really notice it before. I wasn't really posting as frequently as I am now, and it's just the amount of time that it takes to get all this stuff done. While editing videos, I experience lagging, I experience total computer freeze-ups, as well as the video editing software that I'm using. I can see and hear that there's also audio and visual separation within the tracks that I'm trying to edit and things like that, and I just have to either wait for the computer to kind of calm down a little bit in order for it to work properly, or just, you know, kind of quit everything and restart. And then the same issue kind of happens over and over. So the CPU usage is at 100 or more, and the reason that could be causing that is because of the RAM. So this laptop right off the factory floor came with a 1TB hard drive, a 256GB M.2 NVMe drive, as well as 16GB of RAM. So up till now, this computer has done its purpose. It's been really reliable, and I haven't had any issues. The only upgrade that I made prior to this one is I upgraded the hard drive to a 2TB SSD drive, and that added more space, more speeds, as well as reliability. Now, I am upgrading the RAM to this laptop with two 32GB RAM module chips, and yes, 64GB may be overkill for a laptop or any computer of that matter, but 64GB is the maximum amount of RAM that this computer can handle, that the motherboard can take, according to the manufacturer's documentation. Now, I do want to just upgrade this to the maximum capacity right now, just to get it over with, as well as because I don't want to just upgrade it to 32GB and then I still kind of feel that slowdown happening while editing and rendering videos. I just want to make the upgrade one time and just pretty much be done with it and get everything up to par. So in this video, I'll be showing you guys how to replace the RAM modules specifically in this Samsung Notebook Odyssey, but the same thing can be done in any laptop. And just refer to your owner's manual and the manufacturer's documentation to get more information on how to do that on your specific laptop. With that being said, you guys, if you do attempt to do any upgrades on your laptop, or if you attempt to do this same type of upgrade that I'm doing here today, please know that you're doing that at your own risk. There are things that can go wrong while doing these upgrades, so just be careful, make sure you know what you're doing and how you're doing it. And if you're unsure about anything, make sure you take your laptop to a professional and let them handle the upgrade or anything else that needs to be done to it. So with that being said, just know that it is at your own risk, and I'm pretty excited to see what the changes are when I switch out these RAM chips. So what do you say we get started with this upgrade and we'll see how everything turns out afterwards. Alrighty everyone, so I've gone ahead and flipped my Notebook Odyssey on its back, and you can see this panel right here. That's what I'm going to be removing to access those RAM chips. Under that panel, you do also have access to the M.2 NVMe drive, and that's basically my laptop's quick access upgrade panel, so I can upgrade things from that spot. In your laptop, it may be different. Just refer to your manufacturer's documentation and you'll be able to find out where your RAM chips are located in your laptop. In most cases, it'll be pretty easy. There'll probably be a separate panel right down here at the bottom of your laptop, just like this one. Here's my Samsung 350E notebook, and this is an example of how your laptop may look on the bottom. This laptop does have different compartments as well as labels to let you know what to take out or how to take it out or where it's located. So over here we have a screw for the optical drive. You can remove that screw and you can replace or upgrade your optical drive. You have a panel over here that is for the wireless card, so you can upgrade it or troubleshoot it. And finally, you have a compartment right here that has the hard drive as well as the RAM memory chips. So if I were to remove this panel, which I'm going to do right now, and show you guys how everything looks, if I remove the screw, it comes right off, and then this panel just slides right out. And as you can see, you have the hard drive, and then you also have the RAM chips over there. In other cases, it may be a little bit more difficult where you have to remove your keyboard in order to access those RAM chips. But let's go ahead and get this removed. So the first thing you want to do is get any kind of jewelry you have off your hands, anything that may be conductive, that may cause any static, that can in turn damage the internal components of your laptop. The next thing you'll want to do is grab one of these. It's going to be an ESD anti-static wristband. Now, I'm not going to be using this in this video just because I am working on a wooden surface and I have gone ahead and grounded myself by touching bare metal. So after that, you're going to want to grab a screwdriver that is going to fit the specific screws that you have on the back of your notebook. So the best way to do this is to grab a bunch of different bits. If you have a screwdriver kit like this one, I have an iFixit one, and you could just test fit the bits to see which ones can fit snugly into that screw and it won't really shake around. So I'm going to be using the Phillips head 00 bit. And finally, of course, you're going to want to have your RAM modules. So I have the two RAM modules right here. They're each 32 gigabytes, equaling a total of 64 gigabytes of RAM. Now, according to my manufacturer's documentation, 64 gigabytes of RAM is the maximum capacity that this motherboard can handle. Now, in terms of the megahertz of the RAM, the speed of the RAM, my motherboard can only handle 2133 megahertz. However, these chips are 2666 megahertz, so I'm not sure if it's actually going to work or not. I might have to clock down these RAM module chips. But we'll see what happens after we replace them and we'll test it out. So to open it up, all I'm going to do is just open up these three screws up here. There's going to be two at the top, and then there's going to be one in the middle. And you'll see, even though these screws are the same exact size, I did just put them in the arrangement that I took them out, just so that I have them in the same spots. Next up, you're going to want to lift up the panel. I have two little fingernail notches right here that I can pull up on. Alright, and once that panel is removed, you'll have access to your RAM modules right here on this side. Alrighty, so the first thing I'm going to do is just open up these RAM chips right here. Alright, and once those two RAM chips are open, I'll just take them out of the plastic like this. Alrighty, so once those are out of the plastic, the first thing I'm going to do is remove the old ones. So you're going to see two notches on each side. Once you pull those apart, you'll see the RAM chip kind of flop upwards, and then you'll pull it out at that angle. So I'll just put these on the side. Alrighty, and then I'll grab the new chips. And with the new chips, you're going to want to put them in exactly as you took out the old ones. So you're going to put them in on an angle. And once they're in, you're just going to press them down and make sure you hear the click, as well as see that both of these notches on each side are clamped together. And the same thing goes for the other one. Alrighty, those look like they're securely in place. So the next thing to do is just to reassemble the laptop and test it out. So I've gone ahead and put everything back together. All the screws are in and we're ready to boot this up for the first time and get into the BIOS to see if it's accepted the new RAM chips and is getting that full 64 gigabytes of RAM. But before I open this up, because as soon as I do it will turn on, just to let you guys know, to get into the BIOS in Samsung laptops, you'll have to click the function 2 key. In other laptops, it may be different. Just refer to your manufacturer's documentation and you'll be able to know exactly what button to click to get into the BIOS menu. So here are the old RAM chips that I took out. I put them back in these little containers just to keep them safe and in the event that I ever need them ever again. But let's go ahead and open up this laptop and we'll see how the BIOS is looking. Alrighty, and there we go. We are in the BIOS. So as you guys can see right here, total memory installed is 65,536 megabytes, and that is actually the full memory for these chips that I installed. Now you can see here slot 1 and slot 2 of the memory modules. You can see how much megabytes is each one of them, which is 32,768 megabytes. So, you know, for the documentation that this laptop had that said that, you know, the motherboard couldn't accept it couldn't accept past the 2133 megahertz RAM modules. It actually accepted them with no issue, and I didn't have to clock them down, which is nice. So I'm gonna test this out. I'm gonna go ahead and edit some videos and see how it performs, as well as if it made any dent on the CPU usage, as well as you know, just how everything processes while rendering a video and editing a video. It does take up a lot of resources on the laptop. I've been using this laptop now for the past day and a half after the upgrade, and all I can say is wow. The upgrade made the world of difference on this laptop. Since using it, I've done a couple of edits on videos, I've rendered videos, and I've done other processes with all that happening at the same time. And it doesn't slow down at all. It doesn't freeze up, it doesn't lag. I have no issues while editing videos on the movie editing software that I have. It doesn't have any issues anymore. With that being said, I have been monitoring everything with Task Manager. I've been looking at the CPU usage, I've been looking at the RAM usage, and the CPU usage has actually gone down to half or a little bit more than half of the full use of the CPU. And the RAM usage, actually, surprisingly, it's gone way down. I'm doing the same processes that I've done before, and before I would be utilizing maybe 11 or 12 gigabytes of RAM. Now I'm utilizing only 6 to 8 gigabytes. So it really does go to show upgrading the amount of RAM that you have really does help improve the speeds of your laptop, or computer in that matter. And one more thing that I do want to say is that upon checking the RAM usage on Task Manager, I did notice that it did automatically clock those RAM modules down from 2666 megahertz all the way down to the 2133 megahertz, which is the maximum supported megahertz of RAM speed that this motherboard can handle. So it was nice that it was seamless and I didn't really have to do anything in the process. So with that being said, I hope you all enjoyed this video and thought it was useful and perhaps got some tips on upgrading your own laptop and improving its speeds. Overall, I'm very happy with this upgrade and it was successful. If you guys liked this video, go ahead and smash that like button down below, and if you like this content and you want to see more content just like it, consider subscribing to my channel. Don't forget to hit that notification bell down below so that you guys will be notified as soon as I upload any new videos. With all that being said, I hope you all stay safe, stay well, stay healthy, and I'll see you all next time.